folks, welcome to Follow the Leader, a podcast focused on telling character-driven stories through the use of GM-less tabletop games where we can all take the lead. You can find us on Tumblr at FTLcast and at FTLcast.com. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/FTLcast. Today we're playing Follow by Ben Robbins. For those of you who are new to this game, here are the basics. Follow is a game about working together to achieve a common goal. Slay the dragon, cure a disease, overthrow a tyrant, get your candidate elected. We'll pick a quest together to decide what kind of game we want to play. Can we stay united and succeed, or will our differences tear us apart? We'll play and find out. I'm August, and you can find me at Strange Harpy on Tumblr, or Harpydora, Blue Sky, and itch.io, and my pronouns are they, them. Playing with me today we have Sam.
Hello, I'm Sam. You can find me on Tumblr at SassyTale, and basically nowhere else. Don't look at my portfolio site, it hasn't changed.
Fair.
And I use he, they pronouns.
And we also have Cory.
Hi folks, my name's Cory. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me sitting right here with you in the audio space. Good luck finding me elsewhere.
Yeah, because co-host is dying, huh?
Yep, it sure is. That's our topical news of the day. Went to Florida, found out co-host was dead, and, well, not dead, but dying. And then I was like, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so now I'm here. I'm a voice in space, in the ether.
Yep. Our lines, things we absolutely do not want to see, are homophobia and transphobia, racism, sexism, anti-Semitism, violence against children and animals, sexual assault, domestic violence or intimate partner violence, unwanted pregnancy, and plagues and pandemics. Our veils, things we're fine with addressing but will just fade to black on, are steamy situations, graphic descriptions of bodily harm, and terminal illness. Now that we've got all that, let's get started.
Yay, we have things we have to go towards, but we did do one thing, right? We did figure out what we were doing in advance to some degree.
Yeah.
Which is to say, our quest, right?
Yeah, so in Follow, you have to pick a quest, which is basically one of the playsets that the game comes with, and we've decided to go with the gods for our quest, which the quest text says, "We are immortal gods. We can raise up mountains or cast down cities, but what we crave is for mortals to worship us. That's our quest, even if we must create and destroy whole civilizations in the process." The next step that we do is we customize our quest together. We have two questions. We are the only gods now, but are we the creators of the world or a new pantheon that has inherited it from the old gods?
Ooh. I like the idea of picking up the pieces.
I also like the idea of picking up the pieces.
So if we're a new pantheon, how new are we? Have we been at this a while, or are we...
Like, new.
Or are we like a mix?
I think I like the idea of being a mix.
Yeah.
And did we have worshippers in the past and lose them, or did we only now decide we needed mortals to praise us?
I feel like the latter almost in this case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like kind of running on a current, and then you get like a taste, or you witness a piece, or you see grand temples and rituals and other such devoted to those that went on before, and you go, but what if I picked up the phone?
Right?
All right. The next step that we take is we decide what makes our quest difficult, and we pick 2 out of 6 options. The 6 options are: mortals don't believe in the gods, mortals resent the gods, mortals worship false gods, they pray to idols and graven images, gods cannot communicate with mortals directly, we walk unseen, the world is consumed with war and strife, or monsters destroy what we create, we slay them but more arise.
I like the idea that we can't communicate with mortals directly and we walk unseen.
Yep, I'm also in for that one.
That's a good one.
I love to hit them with source. I saw it in a dream.
I like the idea that because of that, the mortals don't believe in gods.
Yeah.
Yeah, it may even be that those rituals kind of got subsumed into just kind of being alive almost.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in as far as our setting goes, what do we want to do for our setting? I feel like that will kind of determine a little bit about, like, how we play. So is this like a fantasy setting? Or are we gods in modern times?
So I think I like the idea of a fantasy setting. Maybe a little bit of a sci-fantasy setting.
Yeah, I think that's the vibe.
Especially given the character that I'm choosing to bring back.
Well, speaking nakedly, 2 of us have characters that are based more on the side than the fantasy side, so
That's fair.
Well, I'm gonna I think tie in a little bit more of the fantasy in with mine, but
hell yeah.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
Yeah. If we're sci-fantasy, are we on Earth or are we on a different planet? Because it could be fun for us to be on a different planet, and this planet isn't where we're from. Like, we followed people from Earth.
I like that.
Yeah, like a either a post-apocalypse, or alternatively, like, we're just so far apart that it's the case where, like, communications from planet to planet take so long. There's just a natural drift. But yeah, let's trace them from the original civilization to where they are now. And of course, the funny pun of being the follower of the followers.
Yeah.
We want the followers to follow us.
Yeah. Oh, how the turns have tabled.
Yeah. Oh, how the tops have tabled.
That was good.
Cool. So are our followers to be, our hopeful followers to be human, or...
I like the idea that they're maybe a bit of a mix of various alien races, but primarily human. Like, it's a human settlement, but it's not just humans living there.
Mm-hmm.
A mix of adaptation and, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, we gotta get our plant aliens in there, because we always... Now me and Cory have both played plant aliens.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, like, I played Neva once as an alien rather than as a elf. Plant elf.
Bless you, Thorn. I'm sorry, Thorn.
No, Thorn's very good.
R.I.P. to Thorn. I love Thorn.
Literally, too, yeah.
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 All right. So, the next thing that we need to do is create our fellowship. The group of characters working together to complete the quest is called the Fellowship. We'll each have 2 characters, a main character and a minor character. Both are part of the Fellowship, but our story is about our main characters. So let's determine who we are by picking the role our main character plays in the Fellowship from the list that we're given, and the character concepts that we have are all father / all mother / all parent, elder, crafter or gardener, watcher or scholar, guardian, hunter or warrior, reveler or idler, trickster or tempter, destroyer, black sheep, half mortal, monstrous god. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I rub my chin.
Mm-hmm.
Monstrous God is simply too easy.
Yeah.
I'm picking something a little closer in, I think.
Can I have dibs on Destroyer?
Yeah, no, go
for
ahead.
it.
That's all yours.
Take it. I'm gonna take Crafter or Gardener.
Yeah. I'll take a Watcher or Scholar. I think all of these fit well.
Yep. All right, so let me know when y'all are ready for the next step.
We should probably come up with a second character, huh?
Yeah.
Each of us.
We do the first character first and then do the secondary characters. Because the secondary characters get a kind of truncated character creation.
That's right.
All right. Let's introduce our characters and then we'll complete the next step. So I have chosen the Destroyer archetype. I will be playing Ningal, uses she, her pronouns. She is the goddess of death and destruction. Her look is a kind of bone white skinned woman with long black hair that kind of covers her entire body, and she can form into various implements. Think Bayonetta, but evil and almost skeletal. She does not have any eyes. Her face is just a nose and a rictus grin with lots of fangs.
Nice. Legs, half the body.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sam, who will you be playing?
I am playing newly named Flecka, as we may have known her before, the Flesh Cube from episode 1 of our season. She is the crafter or gardener, and she is the goddess of new beginnings and growth. Her form is primarily obscured behind an in-universe, old-fashioned spacesuit from which a few leaves have sprouted out of various joints of the suit.
Nice. I'm glad it's that, not like a Returnal situation. Coming in fresh and hot from our Tet episode recently, I just wanted to do Color Under Blue again.
Yes.
This place, it serves as the Watcher. I have marked it as the deity of unseen blessings, and it presents itself in the form of a flare of impossible colors that intrude beyond normal perception, vaguely in humanoid form.
Oh, so like the unobservable rich guy from
Yeah!
Disneysium.
Fuck, I can't believe I just made the mega rich light bending guy. Damn it.
Oh my god.
No, this sucks actually. Fuck. Take
No!
it back. No! Don't do this to my god.
I think the Color Under Blue is perfect the way that it is.
I love Color Under Blue.
My real indicator. It's off the charts. I can no longer determine the value of money.
Oh my god.
My savoir-faire has never been so high.
Lord. Okay. The next step that we take is we decide what we want from the quest. We all want the quest to succeed, but what does your main character want from it? It could be something you would get out of our success or how you want us to fulfill the quest. Or to put it another way, why are you on the quest? Pick from the examples on the quest sheet or make up your own. The examples on the quest sheet involve beauty, make the world a place of splendor, chaos, revel in upheaval and catastrophe, chosen ones, raise up my favored people over others, adoration, make mortals love us, fear, make mortals fear us, or supremacy, be personally worshipped as the greatest of gods.
Ooh.
Hmm.
It's kind of like a facet of beauty is what I'm doing, I think. A little bit, kind of.
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah.
You can also make up your own if it doesn't quite fit, tweak it.
Yeah, in this case, I will say beauty, but instead of it being, the world's splendor, it's allow others to see what I see in them.
Nice.
I think I want adoration.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't know that she quite wants to make the mortals love her, but she definitely wants the mortals to love her.
That's very fair.
Well, when you're new to this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ningal wants chaos. Surprise, surprise to anyone who is familiar with her. She, as a goddess of death, she enjoys when things are chaotic and people could be dying. So.
Incredible.
Yeah. This is good. This is gonna be great.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a great time. Time.
None of these don't work together.
Yeah.
I think.
And the next part of creating our fellowship is we decide what our characters want from you. Your main character starts off with a difficult relationship with the character to your left, which I'm gonna say is the character in the bottom bottom of you in the document. Pick something you want from them that's important to you, but which they are unwilling to give you. Choose from the examples on the quest sheet or make up your own. And the examples on the quest sheet include respect, my prowess, cleverness, or authority. Revenge, for mocking me, stealing from me, slaying my pet monster. Destruction, crush a city that offends me or someone's sacred mountain. Protection, for my favored people, city, or sacred mountain. Power, the weapon of the gods, sacred rune, or key to the monster's chain. Or love, return my affection, or forget me.
So what does Ningal want from Fleka?
That's a good question. Oh, man. Oh, man.
The toughest question of all. What demands do we place on each other?
What if, and hear me out, what if I want love? I want you to return my affection because I recognize that there can't be death without new growth.
Oh.
Ooh.
I
spicy.
like that.
That's fun.
But Ningal is not the greatest at emotions, so that's why you won't give it to her.
Because I'm not even sure that that's what she wants.
Yeah.
Or aware that that's what she wants.
Not only that, but just like, she's not the most pleasant person ever, so.
Yeah.
A barrier of expression and perception.
Yep.
Dang. Okay, how about Fleka from The Color Under Blue?
I think I want protection. But specifically for the temple from which I emerged.
I misheard that for a second as the temple with which you are merged, and that was a different image. But yes, I understand.
That's a different image, but hey, same concept. We know where Fleka came from.
Yeah.
Pretend that the space station was a temple, and you've got the idea of her inception in this universe.
Same difference.
Exactly. Space station, temple.
Yeah.
Both monuments to long dead civilization.
Yup. Damnation. I think Color Under Blue wants power.
Okay.
Give me power, Ningle. I think because it's so used to operating in the unseen and sort of around, it desires a way to affect things more directly and to project itself into spaces without needing to necessarily use others as conduits.
Mm-hmm.
And it,
Lord knows Ningal is, like, ever present.
Yeah. Yup. Front and center.
Yep.
All right, so now that we've got what we want from each other, the next step to creating our fellowship is to create our secondary character. Each player picks just a concept, a name, and a brief description. We don't create wants. Our minor characters are supporting cast, and some of them will almost certainly be lost if our quest takes difficult turns. A good choice is to make a character who's connected to one of the main characters across the table from you, or who would mostly interact with them. Avoid making a minor character who would primarily interact with your own main character, so you don't wind up needing to talk to yourself.
Important things to remember.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed. So, I have an idea for who I'd like to play as my secondary character, but I'd like y'all to pick your concepts first, just in case you would like the concept that I am potentially targeting.
Who is a friend to Flecka, I wonder?
Everybody could be a friend to her.
Everybody can be a friend to Flecka. I think of someone running across, like, a relic hunter almost. Running into that old spacesuit.
Are we not supposed to make, are we still not supposed to make, like, our secondary characters also be gods?
Our secondary characters are also gods, unless you're, like, the half-mortal.
Got it.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, someone who started out that way and then reached ascension by way of interacting with this thing that they thought was inert history, and it turns out it's actually a god. Oops. You ever just reach apotheosis because you have understood the form of a god all of a sudden?
You know what? That just happened to me last week.
Damn.
Yeah, gee.
This whole time?
Turns out it's more common than you thought.
It's more common than you think. Oh, no. So I'll pick up this poor half-mortal.
Okay.
What do I name them? And why can I only think of Napoleon? I don't want that name.
No, you're stuck with it now. You said it out loud.
I want neither Dynamite nor Bonaparte. This sucks.
I believe in your ability to come up with something else.
I believe in you.
I will take Leon from that, I guess. Leon. We'll just say Leon.
Okay.
Shorten it.
Perfect.
Call it good.
You did it. I think I'm gonna make an elder god to interface with Ningal. Because I feel like Ningal strikes me as someone who's been around for probably longer, certainly longer than Flecka. God damn it. Ugh. This is what I get for working night shift and having alarms that go off every day at 2 p.m. to be like, are you awake yet? Because if you're not, you're gonna miss work, so you should get up.
That's a mood.
Yeah. Anyways, like I was saying, I feel like Ningal strikes me as probably the oldest of our main characters. And so an elder god that's even older than Ningal strikes me as something interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, so elder that perhaps they're, like, a little too tired to do much.
Ah, that kind of elder god.
Yeah.
Nice. So, like a reveler / idler.
Yeah.
Just happy to play badminton on the weekends.
Yeah. But, like, with shooting stars or whatever, because that's how we're gods.
Yeah.
I need a name for it, though, unfortunately.
In my mind's eye, I see a single syllable.
Yeah.
There were probably more, but it just got tired of saying the whole thing.
I like that idea. I just have to come up with a syllable. I'm gonna go with Den.
Yeah.
I feel bad because I forgot the rest of this character's name. So I had to go to the episode prep doc to get it.
There you go. There you go. We love a long ass fucking name.
Damn.
It's my favorite thing in the world.
We've got Leon, we've got Den, and we've got that which moves deserted plains of the terrified mind. One of these things is not like the other.
Yep.
What a fucking mood. Damn.
I love this.
This is great. Game. I love it.
We should play Follow more.
Yeah, you can also just call it Rove.
I love Rove.
I will not be calling it Rove. I will be calling it that which roves the deserted plains of the terrified mind every single time.
If you remember it every single time, I would be impressed because my brain would not catch up quickly enough.
Here's the thing. I have a big-ass monitor, so I've got the prep doc open in front of me at all times.
Damn. That's preparedness.
Yeah.
I spend
so...
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I spend like 10 minutes before every recording just like figuring out where I'm gonna put all the windows on my big-ass monitor.
Hell yeah.
So I think Rove is fascinated by the color under blue, and thinks that it could team up with blue because, you know, the color under blue wants others to see what it sees in other people, and Rove is kind of I'm leading it more into like the tempter, but you know, similar goals, like I want you to see what I see.
Yeah. We're both working together. It's just, you know, what we want you to see is a little different, huh?
Yeah.
Just a little different.
But it travels the same path most of the way. We just split at the very end.
Yeah. It's that meme where it's like one path is like all dark and broody and one path is, you know, bright and well lit. But
cool.
This is fine. This is
fine. I reach a fork in the road and I see that both paths are less traveled, and I just go straight into the sign instead.
Well.
Oh, Cory, consider perhaps even maybe Leon found Flecka before she was in the spacesuit, when she was just a mass of flesh and vines inhabiting this temple. Perhaps Leon's discovery of her was what allowed her to also ascend to godhood.
Provided the old spacesuit.
Ooh, like that.
Let's go. See? Just a little twist.
Let's go.
A little tweak.
Awesome.
I love that.
Maybe we shouldn't have others look at you and also ascend.
Perhaps not. Yeah.
And also give you some way to locomote.
In this world, she never became the cube. Simply because there was already a spacesuit to climb right into.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
This suit was made for me. Well, it wasn't, but I kind of just poured myself in. You know, it's like a big old drinking glass in human form.
All right, so with our fellowship created, it is time to start play. To complete the quest, our fellowship will face 3 challenges. We won't know what challenges will confront us at the start. We'll only know as they arise. Each challenge is something we need to do to move closer to our goal. If we succeed at a challenge, we are more likely to succeed at the quest. If we fail, or ignore, or refuse the challenge, it doesn't mean the quest immediately fails, but it makes it harder for us to win in the end. You must pick the challenges from the quest sheet, but your choices and the order you put them in define the flavor of our game. So, for each of the 3 rounds, we'll follow the same steps. Pick our challenge and describe why it's difficult. Play scenes to explore how our characters deal with the challenge and each other. And then draw stones to see if the Fellowship succeeds or fails at the challenge, and whether any of our characters were lost or betrayed the Fellowship. The 3rd challenge is different. Its outcome determines the success or failure of the entire quest, but our wins or losses in the first 2 challenges will influence our chances of victory. After the third challenge is resolved and we've seen whether the Fellowship succeeds at the quest, we'll play a short epilogue to look at the characters' lives after the quest. After all was said and done, was the quest worth it to them? So, let's start a challenge. We choose a player to pick the next challenge. It must be someone who's not picked one already. Do we want to just go in dock order since there's 3 of us and 3 challenges?
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. So I will select a challenge and we will say why it's difficult. So some of the challenges on the quest sheet are create new people, forge a new land for our mortals or shape the land to suit them, raise up a line of heroes, glorify a favored city, make mortals raise up temples and shrines in our honor, teach mortals our laws, commandments, and rituals, crush the worship of false gods, destroy a line of kings or heroes that offend us, destroy the teachings or practices that offend us, philosophy, sorcery, science, etc., wipe out a civilization that displeases us or threatens our favored people, slay monsters that threaten our favored people, or make mortals fear our wrath.
Very fun and sexy.
Yeah. I think it would be fun for us to raise up a line of heroes to kind of like represent us.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, just raise up a line of heroes, people who can represent us, and preach about us.
Well, when we can't talk to the people directly, it is important to have avatars, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is this difficult?
The whole, have to do a burning bush thing. I think we can't talk to people. So how the fuck do we actually select them? And I think the answer is it's kind of a scattershot situation when you can't talk to folks and just directly select them. You got to do omens and dream communication and other wacky shit that is not just knock on someone's door and go hey, can you represent me all?
Mm-hmm.
I present an aurora in the sky. And someone sees a face in that and thinks maybe I was trying to say something.
Mm.
See, I feel like Flecka's approach would be more direct.
Well, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
We don't say anything about how we'll solve the problem. We leave that to scenes.
Leave that to scenes, that's right.
So we'll pick the first player. So the player who picked the challenge chooses which main character they think would be the first to decide how to deal with this problem. And I think, Sam, since you're already raring to go, I think we'll go with Flecka.
Hell yeah.
Excellent.
And we also have to set our pace as a group, decide how long we envision this challenge taking, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, or years. So since we're trying to raise up avatars or heroes / avatars, I think this is something that's going to take months, if not years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd agree.
All right. We are ready for scenes. Each player makes one scene for the challenge. The person chosen by the player who picked the challenge makes the first scene, followed by the player below them in the document. Make, play, and finish each scene before starting the next. Scenes are the meat of the game, and your scene is your spotlight time. It's your chance to explore your relationship to other characters in the Fellowship, what you think about the quest, and what you're doing to deal with the challenge. Use your scenes to lay the groundwork and put our plans in motion, but no matter what happens, we won't know if we succeed or fail at the challenge until after everyone has made a scene.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well then. Here's how I think that Flecka would deal with the situation. Well, I think that...
Set the scene. Who are you with? Where are you at?
Set the scene. I think that... So here's an interesting question for all of us, I think, is what does it look like when the gods are just existing among themselves and with their own? Do they have, like, an astral home somewhere in the fucking astral plane? Or are we talking, like, we just inhabit our temples and such, and mortals simply cannot perceive us?
I think it's fun if we're, like, not even constrained to our temples. Like, that's where we feel our strongest, and that's where we have the most ability to try to influence stuff. But I think it's fun if, like, we can roam out among the land of the mortals, like, unseen, but still there. So, like, we could be walking among a crowd and people will just pass through us, but like, we can be anywhere and we can be seeing anything.
Sorry, I just had a moment where I thought about The World Ends With You.
Oh, I haven't
So
played
valid.
that game, but I've heard it's good.
I also haven't played it, but I've heard it's really good.
Me putting my hands together. If you all can get a copy on the DS.
Unfortunately, my DS and all of my games were stolen.
Damn.
I don't have a DS anymore. But I could probably, like, play a ROM of it. I do have a large collection of DS ROMs.
It is... You'll probably need a physical way to do so if you do that, because it is very touchscreen dependent.
Well, I have a Cintiq. Anyways, we're getting off topic.
We're getting off
Yeah.
topic. I'm
We're
thinking
getting
of
so
this
off
because
topic.
of the people walking through you situation, but anyway.
Nice. So here's where I see this scene happening then. I see Flecka in perhaps... So first I'm going to describe what Flecka's temples look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's important for the scene to understand what she's doing. All of the temples dedicated to Flecka contain at least one sprout from the plant that originated part of her body. The part of her that was plant, perhaps was once plant alien, has now become so fragmented that there is a shrub or something, a vine perhaps, with odd fleshy protuberances coming from it in every temple dedicated to her. That is a piece from the original temple where she poured herself into the spacesuit. So she is in not her first temple, but perhaps her third temple. So the plant that is her, and the her that is plant, she is shaping it into a vessel with which to communicate with mortals. And this is a laborious process. So that is what she is doing. I believe maybe Leon would be there with her.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that tracks. I think Leon could provide a guide.
All right. And Ningal is welcome to be present if she would like to be.
I think it would be fun if Ningal were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. For Flecka, this is a very, it's a very physical manual process. It's a lot of, like picking pieces from this plant and, drawing them into something else and, very, manual of a task. And now I'm trying to decide if it's a little guy or if it's a full-size guy that she's making.
Damn, imagine a little guy, though.
Imagine a little guy, though. That's the thing. It's wait, the little guy.
Little guy.
Yeah, this is a months to
right.
years. What if you're just raising up a little guy?
Yeah. Because he's just little.
I think since we said we were going for kind of a mix of human with fun bits of alien, I think what Leon was before reaching apotheosis was probably one of those, like a human that's adapted and has got a bit of the plant now. Adjusted somewhat to being the vegetable of the biology. So if you ask vegetable, animal, or mineral, you'll say yes.
Yeah, great answer. Yes.
Yeah, with that, some of it like comes along with like providing an understanding of like, oh, this is kind of like how things fit together. How you put down the garden, and he's helping with like if Flecka's picking out the pieces, Leon's kind of arranging the human corpus around it.
I like that.
Yeah, and he'll say like, you need to make sure that you have these parts, and also I'm pretty sure once it begins walking and talking, we may not be able to put everything in there. Like, we needed to leave an imprint of some kind. A mission or like a missive of some kind to leave just this little guy. We got to give him something to work from, because after he crosses over, we can't really provide that as easily anymore. So I don't know. What's your idea here? What kind of goal do you want to give this one? What are you thinking?
Well, we need him to find a hero. So perhaps his goal will be to carry, let's say, do you think he'd like a sword?
Are we giving the sword to the hero?
There are many implements you can provide to a hero.
I mean, usually, right? When I was doing my thing before all this, I was just kind of like looking for things out there, and he sort of gives like a broad gesture to the sky, like out there. And that's great, but you kind of need an inherently curious mind to do that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So if we give him a sword, we got to tell him where to put that thing,
I see. Leon, you go gather more parts.
She just like sits in front of the little plant and flesh creature that they're creating and starts like molding it with her hands like a child with Play-Doh.
Yeah. Yeah, Leon's gonna go pick out like bits of meat and leaf to toss in the pile there.
What if I gave him the most beautiful little face in the whole world?
She starts like very carefully sculpting the blush on its face. Like, girl, you are getting a little too deep in the weeds about how pretty this thing is.
I think Nigel kind of glides to be next to Flecka and says, it should be able to defend itself. We can imbue it with the capacity for violence.
I suppose. Sure. You can have a little bit of violence as a treat.
Nigel, reaches towards the little guy. Some tendrils of hair, slide down her arm and across her fingers and then drop into the homunculus to, help tie some of the disparate pieces together.
Nice.
See, somehow the thing that I imagined you were about to say was that he ends up with, a perfectly coiffed little hairdo.
No.
I don't know why that was where I thought that was going. I think Flecka, sees the hair and then, pulls it a little more and, molds it a little more to give him a little hairdo.
Nice. Yeah, meanwhile, Leon kind of, he has the hoard. I present this with capitals, the hoard, of grand items that he's found and kind of taken with him onto Ascension. So he'll dig out a few things, and it's anywhere from a toy laser gun, that retro kind of 60s blaster kind of situation, to just like a pocket knife, but like a really good one.
It's gotta have like a laser that like or like the edge like goes white hot or something.
Yeah, like just various things like that where it's perceptionally like retro design, but also it's not something anyone knows how to replicate anymore.
Yeah.
It's just weird and bespoke and unique, and he dug it out from somewhere, and it's clearly not his.
I love it. I love these characters already. I know we're like maybe 20 minutes into this game. I'm already
No, that's good.
like,
That's great.
So ride or die for these bitches.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck it.
But yeah, he'll pick out the hot edge pocket knife and just be like, well, we can use this. I think people can get some good use out of a little hot metal.
Yeah. To be clear, though, is it the homunculus that's using the knife, or are we giving the knife to the hero?
We're giving the knife to the hero.
Okay, good. That's what I thought.
She squints at it, and she like fiddles with the shape of its nose.
The hero needs to see this little guy and immediately know his purpose. The hero's purpose, not the little guy's purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe if we gave like a trial also.
A trial's a good idea.
Yeah, they bring this to a trial. They have to use it, and then when they're through, then they receive a bigger quest, you know?
I like it. Yeah.
Or we let them in under some knowledge or something. Kind of like, and he taps his foot. So it's like, when I saw you, I understood a lot of things at once, and we kind of don't want to like hit them with everything at once, but like maybe like a little crumb, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
And she just like closes her eyes and her fingers light up, and she touches the head of the thing with all of her fingers lit. And it shakes and jolts and looks around.
How about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Delightful. You can't quite tell if Ningal's being sarcastic or not.
I love her. And Flecka stands up and turns her back, and the thing immediately just like runs right off the table she was working on.
Oh.
And so
no.
she's like squinting around at the plants, like looking for another couple of pieces to put on him, and just not paying attention to it.
I can't believe the little guy just bolts.
He's a little guy. What do you expect?
Yeah, exactly. No, you know, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a little guy just goes.
Yeah. Does he get very far, do you think, from the table? Or does one of you two notice and grab it before it can run off completely?
I think Leon just kind of watches too, because he's curious to see how far the little guy gets.
Yeah, same.
I think the little guy is out the door before anybody can say anything. She turns around and goes,
Huh. Did anyone see where it went?
Yeah, that way. I think it's ready. I think he's doing it.
I suppose.
Okay, wind him up, let him go.
I'm sure it won't. Affect us negatively at all that I didn't add this part to him.
She's just like holding a lump of flesh with like 2 leaves sticking out of the top. That's vaguely brain shaped.
Oh no!
I'm sure it's fine.
Oh god. Yeah.
Is it his brain? Maybe. It might not be.
Well, it'll be part of the problem. They gotta figure it out.
Well, time to start on the next one.
And that scene.
Yeah.
I feel like they make like a couple of these to send out, because they want like a team of heroes, not just the one guy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh
Excellent.
god.
Do I have to choose the next person to lead, or
No, it goes in document order, so next up is Cory.
Christ. Color under blue. C is an army of little guys.
Army schmarmy. There's like 10 of them.
Okay, a squadron of little guys. I think what it does is it's always going to be in sort of a higher perspective to everything. It's not very well connected. Its shrine is within the skies, you see. It shows up whenever the northern lights appear, or whatever equivalent there is. Within the auroras, within strange places, within crystalline caverns, that sort of natural gathering sort of place. But I think it will probably reach out to Robes and to Den and gather them in and kind of take measure of the situation. It is determined that these ones probably need a little more help than two sort of haphazard people and one person who kind of just wants to watch the world burn. So, yeah.
You mean a 10,000-year-old 6-month-old is not going to do a great job of building a little guy?
You know, it could work.
She's a couple years old now, but yeah, no, she's not she doesn't have the most experience as a god.
Just needs some workshopping. That's all.
She's a little shaping.
So let's get our older and less destructive crew together for now.
Hell yeah.
And I think it has the display. It's various crystals floating with little windows to each of these small creatures as they spread themselves across the world. Presumably in search of heroes or would-bes or other sorts of potentials. And it'll look at Den and it'll look at Robes, or seem to look anyway with that color-shifting form. Do you think they provided any criteria?
I think it's quite possible they did not. But that's why we're here.
Yes, it seems that our younger members are not the most forthright.
It is commendable, the drive for action, and the roughness provides many facets on which to hang ideals. But I fear that many of these will not make it to a destination at all.
I could not agree more.
We may need to carve some paths.
Mm-hmm. On the screen, the one that we forgot to put the brain into, is very obviously walking through a creek or a river, and is just like walking along the bottom of the river.
Oh no. I think what color under blue starts to do is it excels most in what isn't seen directly or immediately. It starts to lay down paths, roads, symbols, other sorts of things that lead people to places of power. Not even necessarily temples, but just to significant locations. It's a little scattershot and haphazard even by its standards, but what it's doing is trying to inject meaning, curiosity, or contemplation in. It does a favor to Flecka and to Ningle in particular, because it'll use subtle crystal growths to project images in these places. Again, it's more isolated scenes, like a scenes from a hat, on what could be seen. Images of Flecka's journey through space. Bits and pieces of the destruction which Ningle aims to write upon the world. impossible colors and visions and spinning vortices of what the color under blue sees when it closes its eyes.
That's dope.
I think seeing that Rove, like, I think right now it's in the form of, like, an almost amorphous, like, large cat. Like, it's like the sketch of a large cat, and it stands up and stretches, you know, the way that cats do, and it says, "A noble effort colored under blue." I think were I to carry some of these visions into some choice dreams, we might have something quite workable.
Yes, excellent work, color under blue.
At the very least, we'll lead the people to where they need to meet these ones. Oracles, zealots, preachers, guides. They may not be the ones to actually lead the quest, but they would be mouthpieces to it. And of course, and it gestures forwards, if the either of you have other visions you wish to prepare, we can use these sites to communicate what we wish.
Excellent. For my gift to these constructs, I suppose I'll allow them to seek out those with virtue, a sense for closeness to the gods. And there's just like this almost like absent sucking noise. I don't know how to describe it. It's like the sound of something fucking imploding. with no like visual. It's just like all the air was sucked out of the room and like pop. That should help. I cannot prevent those of poor virtue from becoming our champions, but I can aid those of high virtue to be found.
To some extent, if I were to borrow from Lincoln.
No act of God is perfect. Even we.
And things must be raised sometimes.
Of course. I think Den just sort of falls silent and continues to watch these little the bumbling. I have a question. Do you think that the visions that we're seeing through these crystals are from the point of view of the little homunculi, or are we seeing like a third person perspective of them?
I think it's like a third person for these situations, like as if an eye were hovering behind.
I like that.
You'll notice that wherever they look, the eye is always positioned exactly opposite. It never shows the fronts of the views of what they look like.
Nice. I think only one of them has that strange little coiffed hairdo. Our first. A flight of fancy.
Our first little guy. God, I hope he makes it.
We'll just have to play to find out.
We will
have
indeed.
To play to find out.
Is that scene?
That's scene, I think. Unless Rose cares to play a little more with this one.
No, I think Rove has a different plan to start visiting people in dreams. So it's actually probably on its way out to go do that.
Yeah. Let's go.
Cool. Now it's my turn to think of something. If Ningal invited Flecka out somewhere, would she go?
She absolutely would go. I don't know that she would pick up on what Ningal was inviting her out to do. Or I don't know that she would pick up on anything in particular. I think she'd go along. She's naive like that.
Okay. So Ningal invites Flecka out to look at one of the potential heroes.
Ooh.
Like, we've been tracking the little guy, for obvious reasons, and the little guy is approaching someone that it's identified as being a potential hero for us.
Excellent.
And this person is in a city, and when we catch up with them, they're in like a bazaar, so there's a lot of people there, and Ningal kind of, she doesn't like touch Flecka, but she gestures for her to look in a particular direction to see this person who I think is, kind of late 20s, early 30s, not your stereotypical youngster who heeds the call kind of thing. And she's like, well, I think that this one has some exquisite potential. What do you think?
I do see it. Do you know much of his character? That's okay. I don't either.
Ningal kind of scoffs a little, and she drifts towards the person and, like, waves a hand through the person's skull. Like she's skimming her hand through water, almost. And even though she doesn't have eyes, Flecka can tell that she's looking at her, and Ningal says, well, I think that if put in such a position as it was necessary, this person could certainly take a life.
Interesting.
I sense a great capacity for devotion.
Excellent.
How is our little guy trying to get this adventurer's attention?
I think it's a little difficult because it's such a crowded place. The little guy is little, with everybody else being so much bigger. But I'm open to suggestions for how the little guy is doing its thing.
I like the idea that perhaps the adventurer sees the little guy struggling and tries to help it.
Oh, yeah.
I have an idea also. Perhaps the little guy's power that somebody imbued it with is the ability to catch glimpses of us.
Ooh.
Not quite fully interface with us, but like that the little guys are carrying with them the ability to convey the power to, like, in the peripheral of your vision, catch a glimpse of the divine.
In which case, Ningal will kind of step back and make an ushering gesture at Flecka to step forward.
And she does. Sort of, I'd say, with the body language of someone who is smiling beatifically. However, you can't see anything because her face is, well, it's an astronaut's helmet.
Yeah. If she even has a face, really.
Her quote-unquote face is the astronaut's helmet.
Yeah.
And she, she sort of says,
Greetings, hero.
Can he hear her? She doesn't know.
Your quest is just upon you now. Listen to your new friend. He will lead you to where you must go.
And then she just like looks over to Ningal and she's like,
Did I do a good job? Is that good?
Quite serviceable, I would say.
Yay!
dude, she like claps her hands together.
I think at this point, Ningal looks a little distracted, and she drifts towards a group of people where the tension seems really high, and Flecka can probably tell that things are about to come to blows, and Ningal just looks on with a smile on her face and says, I believe in this hero's ability to discover what we have in store.
Just get the image of, like, they get a glimpse of Flecka, but they also remember that Rick just grinned over Flecka's shoulder for that glimpse.
Hell yeah. And then Ningal and Flecka watch some guys beat the shit out of each other.
Yep. Yep, the hero like sees what's going on, and does the hero try to break it up, or does he like...
I don't know, do any of us really value peace though? Here's the thing. Do any of us really care if these guys are beating the shit out of each other?
Yeah.
I don't think we value peace necessarily, because, like, that's the thing. There's beauty and complication. Crystals are multifaceted. Color under blue, like, it's nice when things are together and harmonious, but, like, you gotta mix the colors, you know?
Yeah.
Gotta break some eggs.
And hey, sometimes love is best is best conveyed through beating the shit out of people who don't like them. So I'm cool with people beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of fun today.
I think that's scene.
Yeah, I think that's scene.
How do we do? How do we do our first inflection point?
To be continued.